Gateway Dirt Nationals are over, and Brandon Shepard was able to outlast Bobby Pierce, who had reeled him in, but broke on the last lap of the race, foiling what would have potentially been an absolutely epic finish coming from 12th to first in what was an absolutely fantastic race with plenty of sliders being pulled and going back and forth. Some of the best racing we've seen all year. I think it might be the second best race of the year behind the PDC. Maybe behind that flow race at Macon was really good as well. Definitely a top 5 race in my opinion. But one of the interesting points of this race was in the preliminaries in the qualifier race. We saw Jack Riggs and Devin Moran actually have some really good racing going along until it didn't become good racing. And Jack Riggs gave Devin Moran a little hip check, spun him out, and basically ended Moran's chances of making the feature. So without ado, let's get to this right here. Share this over on my X account. You can find it at JF Trent Racing right there. So Jack Riggs in that number 81 yellow and red car looks like a candy bar. And then Devin Moran is right there in that 99 red and white car. So let's take a look at what happened with these guys. And again, the racing was actually really good until it wasn't.
Maybe going to drive underneath Devin Moran. He may not be done yet. The 81 still knocking on the back door. He'll throw a slider on him in turns 3 and 4. Well done, sir. Devil crossing back over down the front straightaway. Excuse me. Thank you very much. And they are going at it right now for position number 3.
Oh, Jack and Devin get together, and that's and Devin turned around.
So obviously that is an example of what we expect from dirt late model racing. It's why it is the best, I think, motorsports in the world. I mean, that you don't get that anywhere else. It's absolutely fantastic. It's great. Unfortunately, obviously, Jack Riggs gave Devin Moran a little bit of a hip check there, and Moran ended up spinning out, and it basically ended his chances of getting into the feature. But it doesn't stop there. If we hop on over here at the end of this race, Moran didn't decide to go after Riggs kind of right there, right away. He said maybe expresses his displeasure a little bit. It was hard to tell if he gave any hand gestures or anything that, because all we see is him kind of shoot up a little bit towards Riggs, and then he kind of pulls down the straightaway and does his little U-turn to rejoin the field. But after the race, Jacob Horde captured this here from the grandstands. And Devin Moran was not happy with Jack Riggs. You can kind of already see he's into him right here. But let's take a look at this right here. So clearly, Jack Riggs was not making any friends during that race, but he was able to advance. I think he finished in second that race, if memory serves. But obviously, Devin Moran not happy, giving him a little bit of the Jason Fager treatment that Fager gave to Carson Hocevar last year. Obviously, not to the extent that Fager gave. Fager obviously right into Hocevar's door there. Moran just giving him a couple of friendly taps right there, letting him know he did not like the way he raced. And then I think that was I don't know if that was Fisher there or if it was Welshon. I'm not really sure who that was, but obviously didn't like the way that Riggs raced in there at the end either to get that spot into the feature. But it didn't stop there. We still got one more here to look at. It didn't stop there. Riggs would actually get the last laugh, and clearly maybe they made up. I don't know. It's hard to tell what actually happened between these two. But during the actual driver introductions for the feature, Jack Riggs comes out, and he's wearing a Devin Moran shirt. So obviously he went in and purchased a Moran shirt, but he's also like, hey, I'm here, you're not. So it can be interpreted a lot of different ways. But this is why we love the Gateway Dirt Nationals, because we get stuff like this, right? It turns it into an event. It's a little bit more than just the race. You have rivalries being formed. You have people kind of having fun with each other, having fun with it. And you just kind of it kind of like just I don't even know how to describe it. It kind of expands outside of the actual race in the track. But here is Riggs's intro.
Dome start and the big kill powered Longhorn. How about it for the 81 of Jack Riggs? He's got a Devin Moran shirt on. Dome start.
So obviously the crowd was totally on Devin Moran's side. Didn't like the way that Riggs raced him, and was still getting there. You could hear he got the boo birds there, but he kind of knew it. He kind of expected it, and he brought out the Moran shirt. So kudos to Jack Riggs for that. Obviously, he clearly bought the shirt. So I don't know how you interpret that. I think you can interpret it multiple ways. Like I said earlier, he's like, "Hey, yeah, I did. I raced it a little rough. I'll go buy a shirt and wear it out during my driver intros to kind of make amends there." Or you could see it as maybe like, "Hey, you're really mad at me. I'm gonna go buy your shirt and wear it in driver intros because I'm here and you're not," and maybe pointing fun at Devin Moran. Lots of different ways you can look into that. I'm probably going to suspect it's probably the second rather than the first, given the fact that after he heard those boo birds, he did kind of put his hand to his ear and was like, "What are you saying now? I'm here. He's not," kind of thing. But I think Devin Moran's going to remember this. Devin Moran's going to remember this. Maybe not. Maybe they don't meet each other too often outside the dome, but when they come back to the dome next year, Moran's going to remember that. He's going to remember that, right? The drivers have long memories, so builds up these kind of memories, and I think really kind of builds up the dome and everything that it means, because it is hard-nosed racing. You are going to push it just that little bit more to get around that guy that you maybe know that you wouldn't have done at another track, etc. Because there's a lot riding on the line, because you get the driver introductions, obviously the pot, the money, etc. There's sponsorship opportunities that you got to talk about your sponsors because you are in the show and everything like that. So I love it. I love this stuff. I think this is fantastic. And I can't wait to see more of it. And again, I think the racing is fantastic too, right? That racing between Jack Riggs and Devin Moran was peak dirt late model racing until Riggs pushed it a little bit too much, gave him that hip check and sent Moran around. But that happens. That doesn't just happen at Gateway. That happens in other places too. Again, point to Macon. We saw that there. You can point to Eldora. You see it at other tracks too. It's just because you're at the Dome, they have so many races. It happens all the time. But I'm a little bit rambling now, but I just wanted to highlight that. I saw someone in the comments in one of my previous videos was asking about it. So I did have that video and wanted to share that guy with you, because I did think this was a fun part. And I do think this is what makes the Gateway Dirt Nationals stand out, because you have stuff like this. You have rivalries building between guys, but you also have the great racing as well. So let me know what you guys make of this. Let me know in the comments below.